and now in this second session. Thank you very much. Let's pray. And our Father, we thank you, Lord Jesus. This evening, we trust that by your Spirit, you do what no man can do. You bring about the transformation from our life. We'll never go home the same. We'll go home better than we came. Better than we came here, we'll go. Our lives are transformed, minds renewed. As we look into the world, we are transformed into the same person, from glory to glory. Thank you, glorious Father. Amen. I meditate on your word. Sit down. I give myself to your word. That's how I grow in the knowledge of the Lord. That's how I grow in the knowledge of the Lord. I meditate on your word. I give myself to your word. That's how I do in the knowledge of the Lord. That's how I do in the knowledge of the Lord. Oh yes, I meditate on your word. I give myself. Oh, that's how I grow in the knowledge of the Lord. That's how I grow in the knowledge of the Lord. That's how I grow. That's how I grow in the knowledge of the Lord. That's how I grow. That's how I grow in the knowledge of the Lord. In the knowledge of the Lord. That's how I grow in the knowledge of the Lord. As I look at the glass in the glory of the Lord, I'm transformed into the same glory, from glory to glory. From glory to glory. From glory to glory. As I look, I see in the glass the glory of the Lord. The glory of the Lord. I'm transformed into the same image of the Lord. As I look, I see the glass, the glory of the Lord. The glory of the Lord. I'm transformed into the same. From glory to glory. As I look, I see the glass, the glory of the Lord. The glory of the Lord. I'm transformed into the same image of the Lord. As I look, I see the glass. The glory of the Lord. The glory of the Lord. I'm transformed into the same. From glory to glory. As I look, I see the glass. The glory of the Lord. The glory of the Lord. I'm transformed into the same. Let's sing it together now, just one time. As I look, I see the glass. The glory of the Lord. The glory of the Lord. And transform it into from glory to glory. From glory to as I look, I see the glory of the Lord. The glory of the Lord. And transform it into the eyes of my understanding is very open, enlightened. The truth of the gospel is spreading through the world. I know why I was singing all these songs, because that's what we are looking into this evening. Oh, by that. Genesis chapter 30. Genesis chapter 30. We're going to look at a principle there. Genesis chapter 30. The eyes of my understanding is open like never before. Enlightened. Oh man, Genesis chapter 30. Are you there? Genesis chapter 30. From verse 25. From verse 25. Genesis chapter 30. From verse 25. Are you there? It says, and it came to pass. Hope you're there. And it came to pass, when Rachel had born Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban, send me away, that I may go unto mine own people and to my country. Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served thee. But what he said there? Say, for whom I have served thee. So he said for wives and children. But that's not our point. And let me go, for thou knowest my service, which I have done thee. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thy eyes, tarry, for I have learned by experience that the Lord had blessed me for thy sake. Praise God. And he said, appoint me thy wages, and I will give thee. And he said unto him, thou knowest how I have served thee, and how thy cattle was with me, for it was little which thou hadst before I came, and it is now increased unto a multitude. And the Lord hath blessed thee since my coming. And now, when shall I provide for my own house also? And he said, what shall I give thee? And Jacob said, thou shalt not give me anything. If thou wilt do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep thy flock. Pay attention to that. We are learning spiritual growth. Our topic this evening is the training of the Spirit. The what? Training of the Spirit. Verse 32. I will pass through all thy flock today, removing from thence all the sprinkled and spotted cattle, and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and sprinkled among the goats, and of such shall be my hand. So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come, when it shall come to my head before thy face. Everyone that is not sprinkled and spotted among the goats and brown among the sheep, thou shalt be counted stolen with me. And Laban said, behold, I would it might be according to thy words. And he removed that day the he-goats that were wrinkled, and the spotted, and all the she-goats that were sprinkled and spotted, and everyone that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and gave them unto the hand of his sons. And he set 3 days' journey between himself and Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flock. And Jacob took him rod of green poplar, and of the hazel, and chestnut tree, and peeled white strake in them, and made the white appear which was in the rods. And he set the rods which he had peeled before the flock in the gutters, in the watering troughs, when the flock came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink. That they should what? Conceive when they came to drink. And the flock conceived before the rods, and brought forth cattle ring-streaked, sprinkled, and spotted. And Jacob did separate the lambs, and set the faces of the flock towards the ringlet, and all the brown in the flock of the Laban. And he put his own flock by themselves, and put them not unto Laban's cattle. And it came to pass, whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutters, that they might conceive among the rods. But when the cattle were feeble, he put them not in. So the feebler were Laban's, and the stronger Jacob's. And the man increased exceedingly. That is the principle we are picking here. And the man what? Increased exceedingly, and had much cattle, and manservants, and menservants, and camels, and asses. Intentionality. If there is anything you will learn now, is that the training of the Spirit must be intentional. Must be what? Intentional. It's not a guesswork. It's not what? We live in a time when people will come out and say, today I will do this, I will do this, I will do that. By the end of that day, they did not achieve one. Because they were never intentional with their life. Jacob needed his own set of animals, and he knew what he needed. He needed the fat ones, the strong ones. How will he get it? He started with nothing. He started with what? Nothing. But he was intentional. He was what? Intentional. Very important. He got land and he organized it, kept it there. There's a principle of looking, of beholding, of seeing. He applied the same principle for the animals. For what? You think animals are not intelligent? And he was so intentional that the Bible says that each time the weak ones come to eat, drink, he will separate them and say, no, don't stay here. Because he knows that what you see will actually affect what you conceive. Why? The eye is a gate to the heart. If you don't want to conceive, don't see it. It's a principle. Jesus said, it's not what goeth in through the mouth. Very important. So it's not what you eat physically. How was man tempted? Bible says, and she saw that it was good. So the sight plays a role. So Bible says, each time the big ones and the strong ones, healthy ones, want to taste, drink and eat, he will bring them before his construction. So that when they are eating, they are looking at it and they say, this thing is beautiful. I would like to give birth to a child like this. What are they doing? He's working in their minds. Why? In the spiritual realm, it is called a magnetic field. That's what I will always explain it. The spiritual realm is magnetic. In the sense that you attract what you release. So the energy you release will affect the energy you what? Attract. Same energy that you release is the same energy that you what? Attract. If you release positive energies, you what? Attract positive energy. That's why the devil is not stronger than your fears. The devil is as strong as your what? Fears. So when you release negative energies of fear, what will it attract? The same thing you feared is what you will attract. So this is how the devil works. So that is to say, you give the devil the authority, the power to work in your life. The same way you give God the authority and the power to work in your life. Why? Neither God nor devil can work in your life without your permission. Have you seen why you need to be intentional with your life? In the morning session, we saw something that Paul was talking to children of God. And he said, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, though he is your father, he will not father you. So if you have a son that don't want to listen to you, how will you father the son? You will be fatherless despite having a what? Father. So Jacob consulted and kept it. So whenever the strong ones come to eat, you say, look at where you should eat. And before there is a sandboard where he constructed exactly what he wanted. I will always tell people, what you see in your life today is a reflection of what you consciously and unconsciously constructed for yourself. When they say life no balance, think very well. What you are experiencing today is actually what you crafted out for yourself before now. Tomorrow is planned today. Why today is the result of yesterday. By this time yesterday, you are saying today, three of us, and you are in that today. If Apostle Dan did not plan this meeting, you will not be here today. So you are here today because of the plan he made yesterday. You are not here by mistake. I am not here by mistake. He told me I will be here today, so I planned it. That means life has a way of giving you what you demand of it. Therefore, you must be intentional with it. You must be what? Intentional with it. So the more those animals saw the desire he made, the more they desired to give birth to children that will look like that. Many times I tell people the truth and nothing but the truth, and it's the truth. Anybody can fall victim of it, including me. If after preaching and saying it, I still go and do otherwise. And what is that? Sometimes you say, hi, this innocent minister, this fiery minister, how did the devil, Jezebel, that lady's pastor. Is it true? Many times we judge people from outside, but life judges you from inside. God judges you from inside. Devil judges you from inside. Life gives you what you have inside of you. So it's possible that even as I'm carrying this mic and I'm saying, oh, we die here, in my heart, you are who is dying. I'm out for the will of God. I'm out for the will of God. But when you chat me and say, what is the will of God? Get out. I must do what I want to do. So watch, it means I can carry this mic and say, I am out for the will of God. I am out for the will of God. I will do that which is the will of God. And after saying it, I will go back and I'm with my phone and I'm saying, what is the will of God? And I'm going out for what I want. So tomorrow, if I put myself in a wrong marriage or in a wrong situation, it's not because the devil cheated me. It's not because the devil ran faster than me. It's because I intentionally did it. Though I may not even know that that was what I did intentionally. So you from afar, you'll be like, hi, Pastor Darl, Pastor Darl, let's go mad. Eh? You go say the beribe. You later Pastor Darl, near this bad woman. No, I entered it with my eyes. How can Pastor Darl end up like this? With the wrong, how can that man that was born in that day, born in those days, he no longer goes to church? It's not because the devil cheated me. It's because I chose that part of life. It's very important what I'm saying. Because the training of the spirit cannot be faked. It must be intentional. It must be what? If I'm not doing it intentionally, I will bear the consequences. I will do what? I will bear the consequences. If I don't do it intentionally, I will suffer the consequences. That means if I will end up with a good, I am saying because I'm single, if I will end up with a good spouse, it is in my hand. If I will end up a minister of Christ tomorrow, it's in my hand. If I will end up a fire for God tomorrow, it's in my hand. It is not in the hand of God. It is not in the hand of Satan. It is not in the hand of anybody. It is in my hand. So if when others were receiving supernatural training, I was exempting myself or I was pretending about it, tomorrow I will face it. I will always say it. Two people in this life. One person is busy buying crutches to keep. The other person is busy developing wings to soar. How? The other person, other people are busy praying, studying the word. He's busy cheating himself, deceiving other people. So the person that is training himself, what is he doing? He's developing what? Wings. The other person is busy buying wheelchair. A little thing, he was like, I'm tired. When pastor said, let us come and pray today. Pastor, I have a headache today. Doctor said I should rest. Let us fast today. Hey, I have ulcer. Let us study. Hey, I have eye problem. What's he doing? He is buying and keeping wheelchair for himself. Why the other person is up and doing? What's he doing? He's developing wings. Look at what will happen. Tomorrow, life will happen to two of them. Life will hit two of them. Because as long as you're on earth, life will hit you. Bible spoke about the evil day. The evil day must meet all of us. Nobody is exempted from the evil day. So when the evil day will hit these two people, this guy already has what? Wheelchair. He will just sit down and he's crying and say, Pastor, how old Alamo? You see the same person that was shouting. You will start going to a prayer house, from prayer house to another. You start going around with picture of, with, what's it called? I think it's picture now. To lift up, to pray for, all those stuff. You start going around. Why? Why? When others were busy developing wings, he was busy what? Buying and keeping wheelchair for himself. So he don't have anything to do, if not to what? To just sit down in the wheelchair to roll. And he may not even have the strength to roll the wheelchair. Before you know it, he will lie down. But the other person, life, the same life that hit this guy, hit him. And it's possible that the one that hit him is even harder than this one. But because he has the wings, you look at him, you will not notice that life is hitting him. Because he has developed himself in a way that he will keep what? Soaring higher and higher. Where are you? What are you doing now? Because what you are doing now will determine where you will be tomorrow. You cannot meet me and I will not tell you stories about how I got to this place. I was in somewhere, I showed them the sky in my hand there. These are the days we are going for prayer, Saturday prayer in my friend's house. I will leave my house, trek, because those days no money self, trek to his own house. He lives around Umocham. I live around Enibaden, and in their staircase, the guy that there is naked and it's like it's not good. That day I was rushing. A thing shook my hand like this. I used it, we prayed. Up to now the mark is there. So this is the mark of my what? Training. I have the evidence. Those days, every Saturday, we pray. If you are not trained, you will not stand. So what are you intentionally doing that will make you to stand? What are you doing? What? Intentionally doing that will make you to stand. That will make you to what? To stand. The training of the Spirit cannot be faked. If it's not it, it's not it. If it's not it, it's not what? It's not it. If you don't have it, you don't have it. What are you doing today? Now, very important. We're going to look at about 5 things to do. 5. We're going to see the principles in the scriptures. And it will help you to train yourself spiritually. Because sometimes, when we call these things, you are confused. And you'll be lost. If you're not careful. Number 1. Let's see. Joshua chapter 1, where we read in the morning. Now watch. Look at from verse 5. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. I will not fail thee nor forsake thee. Now look at from verse 6 now. Be strong. Remember I said in the morning that God don't use weak people, but he picks what? Weak people to make them what? Strong. So Joshua was like, he didn't even know what to do. He didn't know what to start. And the first instruction is what? Be strong. Be strong and of a good courage. For unto these people shall thou divide an inheritance, the land which I swear unto their fathers to give them. Why will you be strong? Because there is an assignment. Why won't God use weak people? Because they will not do his will. One day I told myself that truth. That God doesn't use feeble people, but he chooses feeble people. But he will not use you as a weak person. He says to Joshua, if you are not strong, you will not do anything for me. If you are not strong, because what I want you to do is to divide land to people, human beings. Some people will come with bribe and say, man of God, that land you want to give us is not good now, take it now. No, just take this and support yourself. Before you know it, you will change. The other people will threaten you and say, we heard that you want to give us this part of the land. If you try it, we will kill you. He says, for you to accomplish my assignment, you must be what? Strong. So one of the reasons why we train for the Spirit is for the assignment he has given to us. If you don't have the training, you cannot do it. You cannot what? Do it. If Apostle Dan was not trained, he cannot pastor you people. Even you know that you are not pastorable. I told somebody one day, you now, can you live with yourself? Can you live with yourself? If you are another person, can you actually live with yourself? Says, if you must accomplish my assignment for you, you must be what? Strong. And this strength comes from the place of what? Training. Next, it says, only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe. Now pay attention to something now. To do according to the law which Moses my servant commanded thee. So if you are not strong, you will not observe to do it. So he's not quoting the Bible, that is the problem. If you don't have it, you don't have it. You can quote it, but you cannot do it. Haven't you seen people? They will tell you everything. They tell you, Jesus is coming soon. Jesus wants to take the whole city of Aba. After everything, they will do nothing about it. Nothing. It says, be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded thee. So upon his life is hanging a lot of prophecies, a lot of commands. But a feeble person cannot do it. Paul wrote to Timothy, he says, those gifts that were transferred to you, that were stirred up in you through prophecy, he says, don't neglect them. He says, fight with it, war with it. Then the morning we saw consecration. I see something now. It says, turn not from the right hand to the left, that thou mayest prosper wheresoever thou goest. Now look at verse 8 now. How will he be strong? Verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth. Because we're going to look at these principles now. This book of the law shall not depart of the mouth, but thou shalt what? Meditate therein day and night. Very important. Day and what? Night. And thou mayest observe to do. So it is in the meditating on the word. It is in you meditating on the word that you what? Observe to do. Why? I will always tell people, when you say, I made a mistake, what I wanted to say is not what I say. Many times it's not true. Jesus cleared us. He says, for out of the abundance of their hearts, the mouth speaketh. What if you say is who you are? The Bible cleared us that the fruit of the Spirit, that the fruit of righteousness is actually our words. So what did Adam do? Adam, the gospel was preached to him, and after thinking about it, he opened his mouth and said, I am not interested. You bear fruit through your mouth. The fruit grows in your heart. You bear it through your words. You process it through your heart. You release it through your words. Bible now says, show me. That means fruit is to be shown. Seed is to be sown. So you sow seed, you show fruits. He says, if you don't sow seeds, you will have nothing to observe and do. If you don't meditate day and night, you will have nothing to show. He says, meditate day and night, for therein you shall what? Be able to observe to do according to that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way what? Prosperous. And then thou shalt have what? Good success. So the secret to a successful Christian life is in what? In these principles. What is the principle? Number one principle is the word. The what? The word. We're going to look at the word, 3 angles, which is summarized by one word: studying the word. Very important. Personal study of the word. What happens when you say studying the word? It means you read the word, you meditate on the word. When you say studying the word, we are not just talking about reading the word. We are talking about after reading the word, you chew the word. You what? You chew the word. If you don't chew the word will not bear fruit in your life. If all you do is to study the word, that's read the word, without chewing the word. Look at the principle. It says, you will meditate on it day through the night. That's to say that in my quiet time, I study the word, and throughout the day, I give my mind to the word I studied. So I keep on chewing it throughout the day. If I don't do it consciously and intentionally, what I read will not benefit me, and my life will not be transformed. Jacob was intentional about it. I must be intentional about it. So if I must grow spiritually, I must have the habits of what? Chewing the word, meditating on the word. So I study the word, and after I stand up, throughout the day, I give my mind to the same word that I studied. If after reading the word, I stand up and I move out as though nothing happened, nothing will happen. James said it. He says, don't be like that man who will look at the mirror of the word, and after that, he will what? Forget everything and live his life as if nothing was. Why is it that your life is not transforming? Your life is not changing? This because of this principle. You have failed this principle. The Bible says that if you do this principle, you will what? Have a successful spiritual life. Jacob knew that this is the result of it. So how my life turns out tomorrow will be determined by this. Will be determined by what? Like this. 2 Corinthians. Chapter 3, verse 18 says, but we all, with open faces, beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord, are changed into the same image. So, how are you changed? You keep beholding. You don't look at it once and leave. You keep beholding. That means if I stop beholding, the transformation will cease. So you are as transformed as you keep what? Beholding. The second you stop, that is how your transformation stops. It says, we are changed from glory to glory, even by the Spirit of the Lord. That is to say, you are the one that will determine the extent at which you will grow spiritually. Your spiritual growth is not in the hand of God. Your spiritual growth is not in the hand of the devil. Devil is not standing against your spiritual growth. You are standing against your spiritual growth. You are giving the devil room over your life. And you are sending God packing from your life. I must be intentional about it. So that's to say that when we say training of the spirit, we are talking about being active day and night in the word. Blessed is the one whose state is on the word. I keep my gaze on the word day and night. So I don't just read the word, I study the word, I reflect on the word. I reflect on the word. I reflect on the word. Day and night is a principle. Next one, still on the word, I listen to the word. I did what? I do what? So beyond studying and reading and meditating, I listen to the word. If you are not a type that goes to the media house to collect messages to listen to, you will not be transformed. No matter how far you go studying the Bible for yourself, you need a voice to help you to understand it. It's as simple as that. It's a principle that you see throughout the scriptures. So God told Joshua, meditate on the law. Who gave the law? Moses. Why? When God wants to work in your life, he will do that through your pastor. He will give him the nutrients that you need. So what you need to do is to keep feeding from the food he will give you. That's how you receive all the nutrients. So, for example, if you thought on the gift of the Spirit and you give yourself, listen to it again and again, you are meditating over it, hovering over it, before long, you will start functioning on the things he does. But if after teaching it, you just say it's reading the Bible, you will not function in it. Because you need a man to tell you what that place is what? Saying. To help you explain that place. And to help you become to the reality of what that place is saying. Why? Spiritual things are caught. They are what? Caught. So when I'm listening to message, I'm meditating over it. I'm chewing it. I'm receiving from it. What am I doing? I'm putting on weights. I'm growing wings. I'm developing wings with which I will what? So. The training of the Spirit. These are basic things that we joke with. Now say that a believer who don't observe quiet time will never grow. Because this thing starts from the place of what? Quiet time. A believer who don't observe quiet time will never what? Grow. Is a natural principle that you apply in the spiritual things. So we saw Jacob do it. That time when they are just low, that time when they are alone, he will present the stuff and they are meditating over it. That time when there is no distraction, you are on it. You meditate on the word. You chew the word. And as you are standing up throughout the day, you are on it. Next, I will be picking and jumping. I will put all of them together, this one together now. Praying and fasting. I know I say praying and fasting. I did not say fasting and praying. Praying and fasting. Very important. Very what? Important. You cannot grow spiritually if you don't intentionally separate yourself for prayer. Intentionally. What? Intentionally. Growing up, I cultivated the habit that every Thursday, I can't forget, every Thursday, I pray and fast. Every Thursday. I was a student. Every Thursday. Every Thursday. And in my house, the only thing we go out with, what we call ego my. I was chatting with my friend last week. He reminded me and said, those days you do share food to me. I told him, no, me, I never carried food to school. He reminded me, moi. I said, yeah, that's true. So, during break, I will break the fast and I will eat my moi. And it's a taboo for you to beg in my house. So, I grew up as a teenager, fasting every Thursday. And I was smart enough to connect it because then our school is owned by ministry and the ministry runs every Thursday. So, I break it. Then there's something else I do. I just remembered. Yes, I remember. I don't eat that day. I will always give that 20 naira to our children pastor every Thursday. Many years later, he reminded me and said, I've missed that your 20 naira every Thursday. So every Thursday, I pray and fast and I give him the money. 20 naira. I don't miss it every Thursday. I grew up with that pattern. What am I doing? I am developing myself. I'm doing what? Developing myself. I'm building up myself. I'm building up myself. And it is done consciously. At the time, I engaged in 1 year fasting. Intentionally, I did that. What was I doing? I was building up myself. I may not do 1 year fasting again. Last year I wanted to do it. I was discussing. I was asking my pastor last time, and he said, I don't know, I want to start 1 year. He called me and said, sit down. I thought we had done talking. I told him, no, I will do it. It's well. I may not do it now, but what I did is speaking. Do you know why? During that 1 year, if I tell you what happened in my life that period, it was even that year that I encountered the truth. Because that year I was working, and the kind of work I was doing allowed me to, throughout the day, I was studying, I was reading, and encountered the year. I encountered the truth that year. So during the time of fasting and praying, I will fast, I will study, I will fast. Last year, at a time, I told myself throughout this period for a long time that every day I will observe morning fasting. Every day, morning. So all through the morning hours, if you come to my office, I'm praying. Morning hours, from morning till 12:1 for a long time, because I want to consecrate this time. Many times the reason why we don't do these things is because we are not creative enough to do it. We are not smart enough to do it, and we give a lot of excuses. Sometimes if you meet you and I say, I'm a teacher, I do this, I'm a student. That's why I'm giving you instances how you can do it, because you must be intentional with it. You must be what? Intentional with it. Intentional with it. Those days I do listen to Reverend Mwabai, and you say he's on a 200 days fast. 200 days fast, 200 days. And you say he's all night. Night fast for 200 days. That means for 200 days, no sleep for him at night. If this is about my spiritual growth, I must be intentional about it. Must be what? Intentional about it. So I can say once in a week, this particular day, every Friday, every Thursday, you check your schedule, you check your what? Jacob was intentional about it. You must be what? You must be what? Intentional about it. So every Monday, he sits at home. I will do it every Monday. Every Thursday, I'm less busy. I will do it. Every Wednesday, it is for prayer and fasting. Every last day of the month, every last day of the week, every first day of the week, I want to give it as a tithe of my life to the Lord. So how did I start 1 to 3 prayer? I told myself I need to be praying every midnight. So those days we are told that whatever you do straight for 21 days will become part of you. So I did it. Then I did not start it alone. With friends. That's why I always tell you how to do it. Because we need to be practical with these things. And since then, every single day, I wake up midnight. Why? It is now part of me. But I built it intentionally. So if you do these things, it must be done intentionally. Next one. If you will achieve it, you must have a company. You must have what? You cannot grow spiritually without friends. Very important. Let us not joke about it. Sometimes we don't make friends in church. You know the truth now. Sometimes if I ask you now, who's your friend in this church? We don't have. Should I start now? One of the things that helped me is that in that our children department, those friendships we have still exist now. There are 3 of us. We call ourselves the 3. Are you put that? I told you as of yesterday that even get better today, we were on a group call, 3 of us, from children departments. From children departments. We will pray together, we will host crusade together, we will do many things together till today is still standing. Some of you don't have friends here. How will you achieve this? Because you need to be intentional about it. You will be my prayer partner. Do you know one of the problems we have today that foster immorality is because of this? A sister was showing, and I was concerned that you see a church, a whole church. No sister is ready to be a spiritual partner of another sister. Before you know it, it will end up a sister and what? A brother. Because it's as if brothers are more serious about this thing. Sisters, their company is more of gossip. And I'm saying it because we must be intentional. I noticed it. Even in that our children department those days, the sister amongst us couldn't, like, because other sisters, they were not serious. So that's something I said in the morning, and it's very important. Many times, from afar, you think they are serious. But when you now become their friend, you notice that they are not serious. That everything they do is gossip. Many brothers, many sisters, that's what they do. Therefore, it means that I must be intentional about it to know that you should be my friend. Yes, sir. In church. And what? In church. Should be my friend. We will pray together. We will come to church and pray. If you don't do it this way, you will not grow. You cannot grow alone. You cannot see your vision alone. So yesterday we were chatting. One of us started saying something he wants to do. We lended our voice. We told him this, that. This one will not work. At the end of the day, we came to somewhere. To the point that we are accountable to each other. This is spiritual training. So in that your little group of 2 or 3, you are what? Accountable. Do you know the truth? Let me even help you. So because we had a sister amongst us that made us 4, none of us can do immorality amongst us. So I'm a brother, you're a brother, and you're a sister. Nothing can happen here. Because we have broken that secrecy. We have broken what? Why? We are accountable to each other. So even when you are being tempted, you open up, and all of us will lend our voice and shun you. Because this is a group of sincere people whose goal is what? Spiritual growth. If you don't have company, you will not grow. Because you cannot share the word with yourself. You cannot monitor yourself. You cannot be accountable to yourself. You can only be accountable to your friends. Who are you accountable to among your friends? So, quiet time, which I combine it with studying the word. And I talked about what? Praying and fasting. And now I'm talking about what? Your group. Your circle. Your circle. Your circle. Very important. Next one. After your circle. This is spiritual training I'm teaching you. Next one is that you need somebody above you. I want to be intentional about it. You know, there are some people in church, their pastor is not their pastor. They are just coming to church without submitting to their pastor. You must be intentional with it. Some of us cannot call your pastor my pastor. You can't. They will only say pastor. Because those things are very important. Anybody who cannot say my pastor, on around here, check that person. You need a spiritual guide. Somebody who will guide you spiritually, a spiritual guide. And your pastor is in good position for that. And it's very important. So our pastor in children's department then is still our pastor till now. Till now. Till now. And I'm still accountable to him till now. Very important. Some of them don't understand these things. I'm still accountable till now. Even when we changed our date, I still went back to him. I said, we changed our date. See where we are going to. Why? They see what you don't see. They know what you don't know. There are some things experience alone knows. There are some things what? Experience alone knows. There are some things foresight alone sees. There are some things you will never see at your level except you see through their eyes. They are the one that will call your attention to it and tell you, look at where this thing will end. And if you just pay attention to it, it will end there. So I need my pastor's guidance. I have up to 11 here, but I'm just combining all of them because these are very important for spiritual training, for the training of the spirit. I must be intentionally submissive to my pastor. Must be what? Intentionally submissive to my pastor. Intentionally. Because the way I say intentionally, because it's not easy. It's not what? It's not easy. So therefore, I must be intentional about it. I must consciously say, I submit myself. Till tomorrow, I'm afraid of him. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. Till tomorrow, no matter what I think I've known. You see your pastor, he's submissive to his spiritual father till today. I was with him, was it last month? We were doing something and his phone was ringing. I know we know the outcome of it. With fear and trembling. I'm still accountable to him. I still honor him with my finance and all those stuff. Very important. Next one. You cannot go spiritually without this one. Very important. Obedience to supernatural instructions. Obedience to what? Supernatural instructions. That's where many of us fail it. Those instructions you received, without doing them, you will never grow. Why? Each of them is a stepping stone to another level of training. That's just it. The reason why I can do the things I do today, because I have been passing through training in each stage, for each stage. So the other stage prepared me for this stage. So that simple instruction, fast today, after you must have prepared food, is a training for another one tomorrow. Sometimes we need to understand what I want to tell you now. Supernatural instruction has to affect everything about you, including your clothes. There are things that there is not sin. But supernatural instruction will tell you, for now, leave this. This is supernatural training. Why? Let me tell you why. Many times, God knows that this is an issue for you. He wants to deal with it. For example, I had to deal with seeing movies. See, tomorrow I see movies. I enjoy cinemas. I enjoy it a lot, in case you see me there. But There is no grip of cinema in my life. There is no grip of movie in my life. Why? I intentionally dealt with it based on supernatural instructions. There are things I had to deal with supernaturally. Things you wear, things you put on. Some people think that's me. For some months now, you will not see a ring in my hand. But you know me, if I will wear 2 or 3. Wear 2 or 3, I got that. I had to train myself that I am so attentive to obey supernatural instruction to everything about me. Even to the things I eat. I wish you would get this thing now. You know, at the time, I discovered that there are some things I received supernatural instruction about that were good for my health. I mean it. Yeah. I now had to go back to the Bible. That's why I now noticed that the unclean animal is not as if God made it unclean. It's because of how they eat many times. Some of those animals kill other animals and eat raw. So they end up being inflicted with those things. So God is saying, if you will eat it also, you also have, except you not change how you eat it. That's where they miss it. There are some things I received supernaturally. It was with time. I now noticed Jesus. You know, God was not actually, God never hated me. He even loved me. Even to my health, He's interested. Why? God is interested in everything about you. So those supernatural training will involve supernatural instruction about things about you. You want to study a course, He will tell you, no, leave this course and go for this. Leave this school and go to this school. Leave this place you want to go to this place. Leave this church, go to this church. He knows what you will face tomorrow. So He's training you today for tomorrow. If you don't submit yourself to that training today, there is no how you will survive what? Tomorrow. I told somebody, when my mates were going to school, I actually applied. I was supposed to start school. I went for direct entry. I was tired of jam. So I went for direct entry. And I went to Abia Poly here. I've met with the admin. I'm going to start the next week. I received divine instruction that I should go to theology school. I was ashamed of it. That's true. If you ask me in my course, I'll tell you religious studies. It's not religious studies. Theology is not religious studies. Which school? My school is affiliated to Soka, so I will not tell you what. I will tell you what? Soka now. So I was not proud. So it's not as if I did it because I was proud of it. I was not proud of it. But that was supernatural instruction. And it was in the school that I encountered the truth. One course that changed my life. Hypnosis. Had I not paid attention to that supernatural instruction, I would not be here today. I tell you the truth. Because before then, I had the book by E.W. Kenyon. My friend in church there told me, if you read this book, you backslide. So I had that book for years. I did not read it. My mom actually used that book for pastor's training in the church. They were going there. The ministry were going there. So even my mom used the book. And I inherited the books as the first son in Christ. But I did not read the book because fear was implanted in me the very minute. But entering theology school, I now had to read the book. And I encountered hypnosis, changed my life forever. If I had not obeyed that divine instruction, I tell you the truth, I won't be here today. Divine instruction. And that divine instruction, many times it may not come direct from heaven. It may come from that your group. It may come from your pastor. Very important. That's why you don't play with supernatural relationship. I was talking to the pastor about something. He told me, no, I would not like you to go. I would like you to go for it. And then, on that line, I started praying about it. I was with him the other day. I told him I will pick up my phone. I will call my school. I've already called my school. I'm starting my master's. Let's do this. Once we come back from here, I've already made the plan. I've already applied for what he knows what I'm talking about. Now, I was still praying about it. And nothing, I was not hearing anything. And that's my culture. Even as I was pursuing it, I was praying. You don't know how far I've gone. I was praying. Remaining one or two things. Then he told me he will not, he did not tell me God. He told me he will not. And I kept praying. I've heard the voice of God. Through that supernatural relationship, I've heard the voice of God. Because the voice of God sometimes will not come like a thunder. It will not come like thus says the Lord. It will come like a suggestion sometimes. It will come so casual. Because we are friends, we are casual about it. If you want me to be serious, that means we are not friends. I want me to close my eyes every time and then thus says the Lord. It can come as a suggestion because sometimes friends can be like, oh, to be sharp now, you feel bad. So just go get topo. What if you do it this way? What if you do it this way? That is divine instruction can come from your pastor, from that your group, from direct, but it's not always direct. That's something the pastor talked about the other time we were having a meeting. He told me about the church. I told him, what if we use this church? I said it as a suggestion. It was just like normal conversation. Before you know it, we struggle with it, we arrived at it. Sometimes when we say God told us, we may not tell you that we've heard it before. But that God told us is actually a confirmation. That means if we did not hear it, there may not be God told us. Divine instruction. Let me combine two, then I will close. That means when I talk about it, that means you must train yourself to obey supernatural words, instructions. It may not look like it, but it is what it is. You cannot go far with God without this aspect of this training. This last one, I will leave other ones. Is service. In the morning I treated first service. This I'm treating the second service. Then the morning I say forget this one. I'm treating it now. Your training with the Lord starts with your service to one another. If I cannot serve my friend, I cannot serve the world. Because friendship is all about service. It's all about what? Service. Don't see it. I want to correct a mindset now. Don't ever see it that you are sacrificing anything for your friend. The day you start thinking service, you know, I told you I was sharing with a brother. A brother told me to my face that as far as this church is concerned, talking about his church, that he have labored more than his pastor. I told him, are you okay? You see people say, I'm a church. I've sacrificed the Lord for this church. That's your end. Jesus said, a good servant, after you have done everything, will say, I profit nothing. Because I need to, it's not trying to say, I was not paid. No, also, you should tell yourself, I am an unprofitable servant. That means I am useless. With that mindset, you are always looking for something to do. And after doing it, you even forgot that you did. That is the eye with which you should what? Train yourself. We are talking about supernatural training. How to train? The more you count it, the more you are reducing. That's why I told somebody, you are the one saying I'm sacrificing. I'm not sacrificing anything. You are seeing it this way. I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing that this is my life. This is my life. This is my life. Why? You must change your mindset now. You are not serving. You are being trained. Sometimes we think that you are doing God something good. So you are serving God and He will pay you. No, God is training you through service. Why? Let me tell you the truth. You will not do your thing more than the way you do other people's thing. That is just the truth. And you must understand it. The way you do what belongs to me, the way you treat what belongs to me, is the same way you will do what you treat what belongs to me. The same attitude. If, as pertaining my taste, in a if you start your own, you will still use the same attitude. At first, he has no, I want to tell you I can do it. After the graduate, and remember what I say, people don't, always backslide. People actually return to their vomit. It's not as if he came to no, you were doing gragra. After the gragra, you will come back to the reality of who you are. Why? Those days when you think that when you thought that you were doing something for Pastor Dan, you never knew that you were conditioning your mind to think in a particular way. The reason why many of my friends stopped serving Jesus and started serving their belly was because of this. They will come and they will complain. You can imagine, I went to that place. If you see how much they gave to the music minister, and me that is the pastor did not give me anything. In as much as I don't support it, yet I've never considered it. I'm not competing with any music minister. So because you started charging, I should start charging. I am under training. So every day of my life, I must see myself as somebody under what? Training. So I am not working for you. I am training myself. I told somebody, the reason why some of us don't have a life of gratitude is because of this. Some of us, somebody will promise you something. Do you know what will come out from your mouth? With that, you will never go far with the Lord. Those who have achieved great things with the Lord are people who have lived sacrificial what? Life. Expecting nothing. That is to say, my mindset must be, my reward is not here on earth. My reward is in heaven. My rector told a story. Maybe I'll close with the story. He said, when he started working with our school, before then, he was a young pastor, a missionary sent to one village. And he was like, he is dying today, tomorrow. So all the sisters he proposed to, none of them accepted. So, and he got admitted in my school because my school is owned by a white. So he was paid in dollars. Within some months, he bought the latest car in Owerri. So he says, only one sister he approached. Amen. In his heart, he was like, God have rewarded me. You know what? Few months later, the same car started having issues. He said, then, over the place that stopped earlier because they were like, you say you're a pastor, you're having this kind of car, it's not true. But after some months, the car embarrassed him on the way. He couldn't carry it home. That's where the car ended. So God now told him, I thought he said, I've rewarded you. Is this your reward? So he told himself, no, my reward is in heaven. Supernatural training comes with this mindset. My life is a sacrifice. And this is why I emphasized in the morning about your life as a sacrifice. So if I understand that my life itself is a sacrifice, that means whatever I think I'm doing for the Lord, I'm not doing for the Lord. The Lord is training me with those things. Did you see the difference? I'm not working for the Lord. The Lord is training me with those work. And take notes. Some of us we keep thinking that if you go to heaven, there is a crown, golden crown. You are still now. There is nothing like that in heaven. The reward of your work is your work. So the earlier you start coming to that reality, the better for what? Your reward in heaven is your reward of the work you have done. So the work is the reward. That means you're actually the one that will reward yourself at the end of the day. Have you seen why you should spend your time working? As long as I live, my life is a sacrifice for God. If God must train you, you must see your life as what? Sacrifice. Service for the Lord. I am not serving pastor. No. I am not working for pastor. I don't need his pay. I am serving the Lord. And I deserve no pay. So in my head, I tell myself, I'm not going there to preach so they'll pay me money. I'm not going there to preach so they'll pay me money. As once I'm done preaching, I'll start going. I will not start going around looking for who to devour. I'll start what? Going. Because I came to serve the Lord. So even when you are doing what the God said you should do, you are doing it as training. If the Lord cannot train you with crusade of 20,000 and you have to be like Rehoboam, who will do it for you? So you thought that Rehoboam did ministry because of money he will get. When you see great men doing great things, it's because they have learned a life of what? Sacrifice. When you see us doing great, that's why I do shout at people. When they see us doing the things they do, they think because we pack money. We be like, Pastor Da, Pastor Da, Pastor Da. They don't know sometimes we go hungry. We go hungry. Literally, even as I told you that I slept fasting last year at a time, two things was involved. I was praying. Secondly, I was also saving money for the work of God I was doing. But sometimes you may not know. So I started eating, skipping one meal. So even as I'm praying for the work I'm doing, I'm also saving for the work I'm doing. So for me to do the work, it will cost me my meal. Sometimes it will cost us the capital of our business. Some people don't know that the programs we do many times, it costs us the capital of our business. I'm a businessman, I'm not a working class. You know, if you work, even if you give everything, you'll be paid the next month. But somebody like me, if I give my capital, there's no place I am going to start begging. I will go to an institution for loan. We are actually going, by Sunday, we are going to Daniel State, and we calculated the cost, like almost $1 million. And where is the money from? So tomorrow, when you see somebody doing such great thing, you don't say this person has money. No, he has the heart to serve God. Which heart do you have to serve God? When you see people who have gathered millions for Jesus, I'm not talking about people who merchandise the gospel. Don't see people that pack money. See people, sometimes they borrow to do the work of ministry. Sometimes they go hungry to do the work of ministry. Which level of sacrifice can you do? Some of us want to marry pastors. You want to do great things for the Lord, but you cannot give ordinary offering. You have never changed ceiling fan in church, and you want to do great things for the Lord. How will the Lord do it? He will train you with your service in church, with your gifts in church. I told somebody the first year we started crusade was 2013. I was teaching. My salary, I was paying school fees. And we use our salary to host crusades. That was how I started training myself. I've emptied my account many times. Today, emptying my account is nothing. So I can actually empty everything I have for account for the work of ministry. Not because I have, but because the training I've received will not permit me to do otherwise. What training have you received? That means if you're having issue with giving, it's because you have trained yourself not to give. If you're having issue with your quiet time, it's because you have trained yourself not to observe it. If you're having issue with serving in church, it's because you have trained yourself not to serve. What training are you giving yourself? The training of the Spirit is intentional. I must be intentional about it. I must be intentional about it. Must be intentional about it. Stand up your feet. Must be intentional about it. Are you intentional about your life? About your life? So when you hear us say we offer ourselves a living sacrifice, there's a song we do sing. My lifetime, I will give God my lifetime. If I give God my lifetime, He will take care of me. He will never let me down. The first training that was given to the apostles is leave what you are doing, follow me. Watch those men that left everything to follow Jesus. Some of you, God can never entrust you with ministry. Never. Until you receive the training. Because He knows that if He trusts you with ministry, all the souls will suffer it. All the sisters in church will suffer it. All the brothers in church will suffer it. Because you have not consciously trained yourself. Our sisters save in your hands. Our brothers save in your hands. How well have God trained you for the work of ministry? If the church man is saved in your hands, the training of the Spirit. If the vision of God fulfilled in your hands, there's a place for the training of the Spirit, and it's intentional. That which God will do with you tomorrow, He bless you for it today. Therefore, if I don't intentionally submit myself to the training of the Spirit, I will amount to nothing. I must tell myself that truth. If God don't train me, He will not use me. If He doesn't train me, He will never use me. How do you want to be a doctor without being trained? How do you want to be a nurse without a nursing school? How do you want to be a minister without the training of a minister? The training of a minister is a hard training, and it starts now. When God will tell you, empty your account for the cause of the gospel, it is a training. Do you know why? Because tomorrow you are going to empty your account again. So if you cannot empty your account today, you will never empty it tomorrow. When God says, this your room is for the gospel, I say, no, it's not possible. Tomorrow, you will have warehouse, and your church is looking for a location, and you will join them to pray. Have you not seen church members? It did not start today. They have space to empty. Had their space to rent for 2 years. Yet, they are joining the church to pray that God will provide a space. That wickedness did not start today. First he started in some years because they never trained themselves to the extent that they know that everything they have belongs to God. God told you, look at your wardrobe, and you look at it and say, pack everything, give it out. And instead you put you found spirits. Tomorrow, you can never give that your pick up for the work of ministry. Never. If you bring it out, you tell pastor, you see people, they will end up angry with church because church did not fuel the car. Because they couldn't empty their wardrobe. God will wake you up, stand up and pray. A minute you will not pray. How then will you pray for 1 hour tomorrow? Which magic? Are you a magician? God told you, leave this church that is closed. Go to that church. You say, God, it's very far. Yes, that is where your meal is. And you refused. Tomorrow, you don't know that He was planning to put you somewhere where you will labor for the work of ministry. You don't know how it is done. So pastor will tell you, if now you are a pastor, pastor, make a call. Even though you are living here, but we are planting a church for you in Ubalo. See how pastor hates me. How you want me to betray him? Pastor knows that I don't have a work. Pastor knows I don't have money, and he's posting me in the church no number when I live in Ososo. How do you want me to do it? When God wanted to train you, you run away. When will you stop running away? Pray. You have a minute to pray now. A minute to pray. A minute to pray. Pray. I offer myself, Lord, for the training of the spirits. I offer myself, Lord, for the training of the spirits. You have cooked your food to eat, and you hold the point and say, package that your food, go and give it to so and so brother. Then you read in the book where somebody was fasting, and God told him, enter this house, pray for this person, you will be healed. But God told you, empty your plate, give to this brother. You know yet. How will you hear another one? You never trained yourself to be interrupted. You never trained yourself to hear the voice of God. You will never hear the voice of God till you die. It's not a curse, it's a reality. Because he will train you with little things. If you cannot obey the little things, how will you obey the mighty things? Great men are men who were trained by the Lord. How we are you trained? Or how are you trained? Or how will you be trained by the Lord? It will determine how your life will turn out. God, I present myself. God, I offer myself. I make myself available for training of the Spirit. Open me what I'm praying. I pour myself. I told the sister one day, I told her, do you know why I'm standing like this? Because I can tell you that I went to sell by my father for preaching the gospel. I was flogged Koboko for preaching the gospel by my own father, and yet the next day I will still go for another crusade. That's why against all odds today, I am the most stubborn person when we talk about ministry, because I suffered this from home. So imagine I stopped going to church because my father says stop. My uncle asked my father, why are you treating this is your first son? He says, see his own baby. This is what my father, see his own baby, not gonna that church. I will keep treating him this way. So if I did not stop because of my father, who will stop me now? Who? Even the devil will tell the other guys, that you pay so. That you come to my house, I will give you the fire. Imagine where your father went to court, wrote a file that you are not his son because you are preaching the gospel. I did not stop there. You want me to stop now? Are you mad? You don't drink? You don't smoke? Even the devil knows it's not possible. If nothing could stop me there, I'm telling you about training. Who said training? This is the training. This is the evidence of our training. Imagine he preached that. This Holy Ghost move. He went to Koboko. He waited for you. You want to stop now? It's not possible. What is the guarantee that you will not stop tomorrow? Is the training you are receiving now. I locked myself that day. I was praying. Morning time, my mom saw me praying, left for market. I said that I'll pray for 7 hours. My mom came back at night. I was still praying. She started knocking at my door. That means my water can you begin to pray. Oh, water! That's why I'm standing today. This is what you should know. If I don't do it that day, I will not be standing there today. I will not. I will not. So when you are running away from training today, think of yourself. A lame big and bag that does what?